and welcome to Through the Keyhole. I don't know why when I say welcome I have to say Through the Keyhole. If you're old enough you'll remember the TV show. So, welcome back guys. It's been a little while since I've done a catch-up, weekly watches. Well, what used to be a weekly watches, it's more like a monthly watches now, isn't it? So, I'm going to talk you through what I've watched so far in August. There are a couple of movies from the end of July which I'm going to throw in there for good measure. I haven't been watching as many movies as I would normally, so don't worry, I'll try not to be here too long, but we know the waffle is strong with this one, so I'm not promising in it. Right, I'm going to keep looking in the wrong place, and I'll explain to you why, because I have my phone turned the wrong way around. I've usually got my screen facing me, but as stupid as I am, I didn't realise that the front-facing camera on an iPhone is better quality than the back-facing one. I know, ridiculous, stupid, I didn't know. So I'm going to try recording on my front-facing camera to get a little bit better quality for you guys, but I keep forgetting to look where I should be looking, and I keep looking over here, which I apologise if that happens, but I just thought I'd explain. I've not gone mad all of a sudden. I'm just trying something new. So let's get this old screen record down, and we're going back to the end of July. And this is dear me, that was a big truck having a honk to itself. Out in the country you don't get a lot of that, so that's surprising. God, I don't half talk a lot of... I'm trying not to swear as much. It's not going very well, I have to admit. It's only when you watch yourself back you realise how potty your mouth is. I'm trying, guys, I'm trying so hard. So, Dangerous Animals. This is one that I'd wanted to see for ages, since I'd heard people talk about it. I am not a massive shark movie fan, neither do I not like a shark movie. I like a good shark movie. I feel there are too many terrible ones. I replaced the word I was going to say with terrible. I'm rather impressed at myself. So this one. This follows, we'll just read the synopsis. A savvy and free-spirited surfer is abducted by a shark-obsessed serial killer. Held captive on his boat, she must figure out how to escape before he carries out a ritualistic feeding to the sharks below. So yeah, a serial killer that uses sharks. I certainly haven't seen that before. I loved this. I thought it was brilliant. I give it a 3.5 out of 5, as you can see. If I just scan you down a wee bit there on the screen, you can see a lot of people on my friends list really like that when we've got 3.5s and 4s. Oh, there's one person that really didn't like that one. I'm opening it up, guys, so you can see. There you go, there's a 4, 1.5, 3, 2. Joshua does like an intelligent movie, so that's maybe explains the 2. Yeah, so there we go. Most people are on 3s and 3.5s there, which I would agree with. That would be my score. Well, my score is a 3.5. The acting in this is fabulous, very believable. What's her name? Is it Hassie Harrison, or is that Hassie? Is that a male or a female name? I have no idea. So the girl in it's brilliant. The serial killer in it's fantastic. We also have a young guy that she meets, that she gets to know rather well, rather quickly, it has to be said. And he kind of is in this as well. He's got a very central part in this, trying to help her out. We do also see people that have fallen foul of the serial killer previously, and can we help them? It's a very tense movie. It's an entertaining movie. It's a fast-moving movie. But thoroughly enjoyed it. Would totally recommend it to any horror fan out there that has not seen it yet. But I would be shocked and stunned if any of you haven't seen that are big horror fans. On the 27th, I watched Ballerina, which is obviously from the world of John Wick. For background, and you can see there I give that a 3.5 too. I love the first John Wick movie. I think I enjoyed the second. I wasn't as keen. Have we had 4? I wasn't as keen on 3 and 4 purely because I feel like it's gotten silly now. It's like, how many times can we shoot at this guy and miss? It's just got over the top. What I feel is missing from John Wick is humour, which maybe is... Having watched Nobody 2, it was like John Wick with humour, and I prefer that kind of thing. But Ballerina very much is in the universe of John Wick. It's very serious. We have John Wick in this a little bit. We follow a female, so taking place during the events of John Wick's Chapter 3, Eve Macaro, my eyesight is, I've had such trouble with my eyes, I can't even begin to if you're on my Facebook, you'll know, not good. So my vision's still a little bit blurry, so apologies for squinting or mispronouncing things. So Eve Macaro begins her training in the assassin traditions of the Ruska Roma. So obviously she's fantastic at what she does. She goes out, she kills people for a price on their head, but she perhaps double crosses the wrong person, and she finds herself in the position of being the person that's hunted. I'm not going to tell you any more than that. It's quite a sort of complex story, really interesting. Thought all of the actors were fantastic in here, liked all the performances. Yes, it is a little bit silly in places at what people survive and how people manage to avoid being shot, but it was fresh, it was entertaining, it felt more like the early John Wicks than the latter two. So if you like the John Wick movies, you'll definitely enjoy Ballerina. So that's a 3.5. So that's us on to August now, guys. So what have we got? I'm not going to talk at the Fantastic Four at any length. That's a 3.5 as well. I went to the cinema to see that. I do have an individual review on the channel if you're interested. I really, really enjoyed it. Was thoroughly surprised, did not expect to really like it, but I did. I enjoyed it much more than Superman, just to annoy a few of you even more. I'm going to have to watch Superman again when it comes out on streaming for free. I shan't be paying to see it, but I think once was enough. So yeah, I will give it another go, guys, in case it caught me on a bad day, but my husband was the same. He thought exactly the same as me, so we must have both been having an off day. So on to the second, Naked Gun. I won't open this up either. Obviously, I've done an individual review. I so badly wanted to love this movie. It's got Liam Neeson in. I love Liam Neeson. It's no secret that I very much support Liam Neeson, being from my little small town in Northern Ireland. We love him here. I like the original Naked Gun movies. I love the fact that him and Pamela Anderson seem to be a couple. I think it's wonderful. I think it's about time she got a man to treat her well, and you're not going to get much better than Liam, honestly, as a gentleman. I found the humour in this terrible. It was cringy, it was not funny, it was not laughable. On the other hand, there are people I know that loved the hell out of this, that thought it was hilarious. There was very few laughs in the cinema when I went to see this. And again, my husband was with me in this. We're like, oh, that was so disappointing. So for something like the Fantastic Four, I went in expecting to be disappointed and was really impressed. Complete opposite with the Naked Gun. I went in expecting to really enjoy it because I feel the casting was on point. I think a straight actor like Nicolas Cage plays this kind of role so well. I don't feel it was anything he or Pamela Anderson did wrong. The jokes were just abysmal. Just not my cup of tea at all. So that's a 2 out of 5. Then we have The Life of Chuck. Now, I had heard so much about this movie from so many people. As you can see, I gave it a 3.5. I'm actually going to take that down to a 3. This is a nice movie. So in this extraordinary story of an ordinary man, Charles Chuck Krantz experiences the wonder of love, the heartbreak of loss, and the multitudes contained in all of us. Now, I think if I had seen this and not seen any reviews and not heard anything about it, I may have enjoyed it more than I did. I did enjoy it. I thought the performances were really good, but I was expecting this masterpiece. You know, people had said it's my favourite film of the year. It's marvellous. They don't make films like this anymore. It's out of this world. It's enjoyable. I felt the dance scene, if you've seen it, went on way too long. I did like the background story, but it's told in such a strange and weird order. You find I don't feel that at any stage certain questions we had were answered. Now, obviously, to show you so that we're not just talking about me, that want to watch? That's want to watch. You don't need to see that. So the people that have watched it, I know you'll be able to see there. So we've got 3.5s and 4s. We've got a 4.5. Loads of 4s down there. I would say the people that are scoring this really high do tend to be people that are very intelligent and like an intelligent, well thought out movie. Just looking at the different people. Whereas people that want to go in and just be entertained are scoring it a little bit lower. I don't always want to think about the complexities of everything when I'm watching a movie. If a movie makes me feel and think that way, then that's marvellous. But I don't want to have to go looking for it. at the expense of entertainment. I'm not saying this isn't a good movie. It is a very good movie, but I feel it's overhyped. That's all I'll say. I don't feel it's as good as people say it is. For me, personally. So then I had Bring Her Back by the people that brought Talk to Me. It was, wasn't it? The guys that did Talk to Me, yeah, the Philippou brothers. I actually watched this twice because I didn't feel I was in the right mood the first time, so I went and watched it another time. Initially, I thought Talk to Me was a much better movie. What I will say on a rewatch is Talk to Me is a much easier movie to follow, and it's much more initially gratifying. It's easy, it's simplistic, it's easy to watch. This one is a much more complex movie. There's a lot more going on, there's a lot more thought to it, there's a lot more emotion to it, I feel. The performances are a lot more nuanced in this. It feels like a lot more thought and hard work's gone into this one. It is an excellent movie, and I'm so glad I watched it again, because the first time I felt a bit disappointed, but I did feel that I'd been distracted, so I didn't think I'd been fair. So given the amount of people that I completely respect their viewpoint that were rating this high, I'm like, no, Lisa, you need to watch this again. So I did. And yeah, it is an excellent movie. I've come in at a 4 for that. There is so much to see here. It's so much more than a straightforward horror movie. While the effects are great, the acting and performances are great, there is so much more to delve into. There's so much more to see. And being a mother myself, very much the thought in this movie is, how far is a mother willing to go to bring someone back? And I think any mother out there will tell you, as fucking far as we have to, which is a horrible thing to say, but there is nothing much stronger than a mother's love for their child, I will say. So Bring Her Back gets a big thumbs up from me. Right, oh Jesus wept, the Andromeda Strain. Okay, I'll give you background to this. Why are you watching a movie it's only 1971, it felt older. So, I've been trying to watch older movies that are recommended to me because I realise I am missing out on a lot of awesome movies. It wouldn't be something I go to by choice, but if someone says this movie's fantastic, I'll give it a go. And there have been some instances. Strangers on a Train was recommended to me by Andy from Andy's Forgotten World of Movies, and I really enjoyed that. Is it called Shop on the Corner? Was recommended by Jamie Powell, and I really enjoyed that. So, my husband has 3 movies that he never gives up about. One of them is, it's not Camelot. What's it called with Liam Neeson and Helen Mirren? Oh, Jesus. I want to say Camelot, and it's not Camelot. I'll put it on the screen. I can't remember what it's called. Excalibur. I watched it. It was fucking shocking. I've sworn. But it needs it. It felt like Monty Python. I don't like Monty Python. Now, I realise a lot of you will want to switch off after I've said that, but I'm just not a fan. It's not my kind of humour. And it felt like Monty Python, and it wasn't meant to be funny. And I'm like, oh my god, this is awful. So, that was not a hit. The 2 other ones are the Andromeda Strain and... oh Christ, what's the other one? I've got it sitting to watch, and I've been so disappointed by these 2. It's 2 words. It's a sci-fi. It's an old sci-fi. What the hell is it? I feel like it's... why am I thinking about Green? Soylent Green. That's the other one, which I haven't brought myself to watch yet. You can let me know. My husband says this is amazing. It's fantastic. Now, when we rewatched Excalibur, he admitted it wasn't as good as he remembered. But when we watched this, he said, yeah, I don't mind this film. I thought it was abysmally bad. It was so boring. I switched off after, not the film, my brain went on a holiday. So, this movie, 130 minutes, that's Jesus. The story covers 96 of the most critical hours in man's history. The suspense will last through your lifetime. When virtually all of the residents of Piedmont, New Mexico are found dead after return to Earth of a space satellite, the head of the US Air Force's Project Scoop declares an emergency. Now, we're sounding pretty damn interesting here so far. Everyone's dead. What's going on? We're thinking aliens and all sorts of things. A group of eminent scientists, led by Dr. Jeremy Stone, scramble in a secret laboratory to try to be the first to isolate the life form while determining why 2 men two people from Piedmont, an old alcoholic man and a 6-year-old baby survived. I'm not going to read any more. So these 2 people haven't died like everyone else. These scientists are trying to work out what's going on. Sounds pretty interesting. It wasn't. The sets, the scenes apparently are supposed to be really impressive. I felt they looked really cheap. Fair enough, it's gone back to 1971, but it just did not keep me engaged. It felt so dated. I was so bored. It's really put me off watching Soylent Green because these are 3 movies. That, Andromeda Strain, Excalibur. It's like, Jesus, is it going to be as bad as these? So no, 1 out of 5. I really didn't enjoy it, guys. There's probably those of you going, you uncultured swine, Lisa. Probably. So, weapons. I've done an individual review about this. I'm not going to talk anymore, but I do feel like with Bring Her Back, I need to give this one a second chance. I haven't managed to as yet. I'll have to wait until it comes out on streaming. I'll not be paying the full price on streaming. I'll wait till it's somewhere a lot cheaper or free. I enjoyed this. I thought it was an excellent movie. As you can see from my 3.5 score there, I just felt I had questions. I wanted to know aspects of why, like with the Ginger character is all I'll say. Yeah, I get why she was doing what she was doing, but what's the background to that? Was she related? Like we're told she is? Why did she choose to come there? Why them? Why that classroom? Why, well, obviously the boys in that classroom, but there were just so many questions. Like something we see above a house in the movie, what the hell's going on with that? Are we trying to talk about gun violence in America? Are we trying to talk about grief? Are we trying to talk about weaponizing people for our own gain? There's so many different aspects, and I would have preferred a little bit more in the way of explanation. I'm going to say something a tiny bit spoilery, so if you haven't seen this, I'll try and be vague. Switch your ears off for a few seconds. What happens at the end of this movie and what the teacher does and what happens? How the hell do they explain that afterwards to the police? If they tell the truth and say, oh, well, this is what's been happening, the police are going to go, oh, right, okay, that's what she was doing. They're not going to question why certain people are dead at her hands. Her fingerprints would be over loads of stuff. Should be in prison. There's all these questions. It's like, well, how are they going to explain that? What's going on with this? Why is that? And it's like, I want these questions. I'm like really bad at not thinking about what happens next. And I don't feel that the police of that town are going to accept the actual real reasoning behind why all of this happened, because it's ridiculous. So because for that teacher to get away with what she did at the end of the movie, you would need to explain why she did what she did, and that would mean giving away what the whole background of the movie is. Didn't make sense to me. That annoyed me, but I enjoyed the movie. I do feel the wide eyeball thing was really creepy. I don't like eyeballs. Okay, Together. Right, I really enjoyed this. I thought this was really novel. It was really fresh. It's a body horror. This follows, with a move to the countryside already testing the limits of a couple's relationship, a supernatural encounter begins an extreme transformation of their love, their lives, and their flesh. So, this couple, Dave Franco and Alison Brie, who are, as everyone has already said, a real couple in real life. They are out in a forest, they fall down a big hole, they come into contact with the environment, the water down there, they manage to get out, and just something really strange starts to happen them from this point. Now you can see from that image there that their lips are stuck together. The movie's called Together. I think you can work it out if you haven't seen. It's a body horror. These 2 people, a kind of togetherness is going to start, a moulding of such. There is some really funny scenes in this due to that with male appendages, which I shouldn't laugh, but I did. I have to admit, I did laugh. Because it was quite nice for once to not have it from something horrible happening. Well, it was something horrible happening to the woman, but it's like it's always nastiness, apart from teeth. Now, I had similar thoughts about teeth, I have to admit. It did make me chuckle a little bit, this, which is maybe cruel, but it did. I felt Dave Franco was fabulous. I felt they were both really good. I much prefer him to his brother, I have to admit, although I do think his brother is a really good actor. Um, Believable chemistry. Obviously, they are a couple in real life. Sometimes that can actually detract because you might feel a bit silly, with your actual real life partner doing and saying some of the things in the movie, and it could maybe detract a bit rather than add, or it could feel a bit voyeuristic in the physical scenes. But no, the completely believable relationship. They both put it across really well. The effects were really good. It was a creepy little movie, but quite entertainingly so. It's not going to frighten you. It's not going to like creep you out. There is a scene when they give in to what's happening that if you don't like eyeballs, you might struggle with. But the ending is actually really funny. I don't know if you're meant to be horrified by it, but I think most people that seen it did laugh. But yeah, I liked it. Together it was really good. It's not on the level of The Substance. It's not as good as that. But it is an entertaining little movie that I would definitely recommend. Woken. At the minute I can't remember what the hell that is. I'm going to have to open it up. Ah, yes. This was interesting. So, Woken. Anna wakes to kind faces she doesn't recognise on a remote island she has no memory of. She is forced to relearn everything about herself, her husband, and the baby she is carrying. But when two disfigured people arrive on the island and there is a violent altercation, she discovers that the human race is close to extinction and goes searching for the truth about herself. So, as they say, this lady wakes up. She has been unconscious. She's been in a coma for, I'm looking in the wrong place again, for multiple days. She doesn't know her husband. She's pregnant. They are like with a couple that live in this like very remote, isolated island that help out. And just things aren't adding up for her. She's not feeling right. And she ends up finding out a big secret about herself, which I'm not going to give away. There has been a massive event. The world is in risk of becoming, the humans are in the risk of becoming extinct. I can't really tell you much more without spoiling it, but this is a really entertaining little movie. No bells and whistles, very slow, interesting, acting's really good, really on point. It's very interesting what is happening. I really enjoyed it. I really connected with the female character in this. It does kind of emulate another movie that was released last year that I really enjoyed when you find out the background of what's happening, but I can't say what the movie is because it will give away the story. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I would recommend it to anyone with patience that wants to watch something a little bit different than the usual. That's Woken. Nobody 2. I enjoyed the absolute hell out of this. I've written and I stand by that. 3.5, absolutely loved it. I've done an individual review if you want to see it, but the humour was on point. I absolutely love Bob Odenkirk in this role. I love seeing normal man kicks arse. Fantastic. It completely sums up the frustration and irritation of when you get to a certain age and you've taken enough shit. And he's taken enough shit and he's like, right, nope. And when he does those expressions like, oh, like, you just know some shit's going to kick off. And I'm there for it all day long. I love this. I thought this was great. Paranormal Activity 1 and 2, you can see there. I was in the mood to watch those because I was chatting to Monty on the Women in Horror series. Let's plug Monty's channel and my own appearance on it. I did an interview for the Women in Horror, which is up on his channel at the moment. If I remember, I will link below. But I was talking about horrors and about what worked for me. Paranormal Activity is one of the scariest horrors for me. So I thought I'm going to rewatch this, and I did. And obviously, because I've seen it multiple times, it's not as scary as it once was, but I still feel it is impeccably effective for me. Ghosty Ghosties is my top fear thing. So yeah, it's a fabulous movie. I absolutely love it. Although the original ending that was meant to be the ending to me would have been much more effective than the ending it was changed to. I felt that was, with the rest of the movie, it was over the top, it was too much, it wasn't required. They should have left it how it was at the end, which I won't say, but a quick Google will tell you how the movie should have ended. which to me made much, much more sense, would have been more effective. Paranormal Activity 3, I believe, is the next in the line, like time-wise. I think, no, is it a prequel? I think Paranormal Activity 3 is a prequel to Paranormal Activity. So I actually have those two. I don't have to, but I'm just picking them up when I see them in charity shops and stuff. I really enjoyed this one too. You can see I've given it the same score. At one point of this, I've explained to you before that I have a terrible memory, so I forget things that I've watched. I've seen Paranormal Activity multiple times, and so many scenes in that just stand out for me that I remember that one. But Paranormal Activity 3, because I've forgotten the entirety of it, it did actually make me jump off the chair at one point, to the amusement of my husband, because that doesn't often happen. I had a real jump moment. I really enjoyed it too. I don't think any of them are as good as the first, so I'm not quite sure why I've rated that the same, but let's leave it how it is, hey? So next I watched a TV show series. Is it a one-part documentary? I can't remember. It's on Netflix, The Truth About Jussie Smollett. So I've never actually watched, what's the programme he's in that's massive with a one-word title? Forgotten it. He's a massive standout icon for a lot of people. And if you weren't aware, when was it? The shocking true story of an allegedly fake story that some may now say may be a true story, with first-hand interviews from those at the helm. I can't read, folks, my eyesight is shocking. Including investigating police, lawyers, journalists, and Jussie himself. This compelling documentary invites the audience to decide for themselves who is telling the truth about Jussie Smollett. So, basically, he said a few years ago that he was attacked by two white men with balaclavas. He was beaten up and they put a noose around his neck. And this is what he came out saying had happened to him. So obviously there was a lot of people, you know, talk about racism, how disgusting it was. He became even more popular. Like, he became the face of the fight against racism. And not just that, like, he is a massive queer icon also. So he was standing up for him as a unique individual and his right to be himself, and rightly so, obviously. But for some reasons, and I'm not going to tell you too much but in case you don't know the story, question was put upon this story, and it is alleged, and he was charged and he was found guilty, that he actually made the story up and he hired two people to... Now, unfortunately for him, the two people that he allegedly hired are big, massive, black, burly extras from the show that he worked on, which I still can't remember. Big, massive guys, very distinct looking, and they don't look at all like the people that he described that had attacked him, these two white dudes, and these are two big, imposing black guys. They actually do admit that he had hired them, that he wanted them to do what happened to him, and he was going to pretend that two white guys had done what they did on him. So this all goes to court. We speak to people on both sides. We speak to him, we speak to the two dudes, we speak to eyewitnesses, we speak to the police, prosecutors, everyone. And we get sort of two halves of this. There are aspects on one side that's like, yeah, this guy's full of shit. He lied. He tried to promote his career by making out he was attacked when he wasn't. And on the other side, there are questions as to, well, if he wasn't attacked, why this, why that, why this thing? And there are inconsistencies on both sides. So it kind of invites you to decide for yourself what you feel happened. I feel it needed to be longer. We needed more information. We needed to go down the rabbit hole a bit further on both sides of the argument. I came away feeling like he had lied personally. But am I sure about that? No, but to me there was more evidence on the side that he had lied, including the two individuals that took part in the attack saying, yeah, he hired us, he paid us. But there are little aspects surrounding that payment that are a bit weird as well, so I'll leave you to watch it if you're interested. But it was well put together. I just would have liked a little bit more information. St. Clair. Trying to remember. Oh, yes. So, I watched this after watching Aaron from Screen Star's review on it, and he had said they were kind of trying to do like a female Dexter. Now obviously my ears have pricked up because Dexter's one of my favourite TV shows of all time. How disappointing is it that they've cancelled season 2 of, was it First Blood? The prequel show, which was incredible, which was so well cast, but because Dexter Resurrection is doing so well, they feel that they can't have two, and it's like, why? Just do them each every 2 years so you've got one each year. I want both. I want more of the prequel. I want more of Dexter. I want Dexter forever, to be honest. I love it. So anyway, female Dexter. So this follows Bella Thorne, who is playing a teenage girl, but I think she's 28. In a small town, a solitary woman is haunted by voices that lead her to assassinate... What is that? Jesus Christ. Ill-intended people and get away with it until her last kill sucks her down a rabbit hole riddled with corruption, trafficking, and visions from the beyond. So from she is a young child, this girl has had a real ruthless streak, a real murderous streak, but for bad guys, basically like Dexter. This movie had the makings of something excellent, something really good, but I feel it squandered it and it wasted it, and I can't even explain to you why that is, as in what about it made me feel that way. But the whole background of this, the whole ins and outs of the story is really interesting. Should have been fantastic, but just was pretty average, which is disappointing. Ren Philippe is in this also. Rebecca De Mornay's in it. It was okay. I expected it to be much better. I think Aaron felt very similarly about it, and he's a massive Dexter fan also. And finally, and I have not rated that yet, and I am not going to talk at length about it because I was lucky enough to be sent a screener for The Toxic Avenger with Peter Dinklage by Leo from Geek Legion of Doom. So I have just recorded my review for that and sent it across to him. So I'm not going to talk about it on this channel because it's for Geek Legion of Doom. I will, obviously, after it goes up, I'll come back and rate it. But yeah, yes. So I'm dying to tell you what I thought. I'm dying to tell you, but I can't. So just keep an eye on Leo's channel. You may be somewhat surprised. So that, guys, is what I've been watching in August up to this point. Obviously nowhere near the amount of stuff I usually watch. I've just been so busy. I'm sure you're sick hearing about me being busy. But yeah, life's not been the best. My mum's... I don't know that I've gone into any detail, just for any of you that are interested. You know my mum has MS, she's very ill, she's almost bedridden at the moment, but after a hospitalisation in June, she hit what we thought was delirium, which is something people get when they have bad infections, which is very similar to dementia. But it usually resolves itself after the infection has passed. But in this case, it has never resolved itself, and my mum is now kind of in the midst of full-blown dementia. Which is linked to her MS, which has been very sudden, but it's now got to a point where she doesn't know where she is. Sometimes she doesn't know who we are. She's very agitated, very anxious. We don't know if she's in pain or not because she'll say she is, then she forgets about it. We can't understand when she's speaking. There's now no form of communication. It's been difficult. She's in a very bad way. We've seen a lot of specialists, a lot of doctors, neurologists, occupational therapists, dietitians. She was weighed a week ago, and they had to hoist her in a hoist to weigh her, and she is 4 stone 11, which is 30 kilograms, which is obviously... My mum is, if she could stand, taller than me. I think she's about 5'7", 5'8", and 30 kilograms, 4 stone 11, which is obviously, I'm sure you can imagine, not ideal. She's lost interest in eating and drinking. It's a real fight, and if we can't improve the situation with a lot of high calorie speciality meals and things that we've been given, then she will need a feeding tube, but they don't know that she's actually strong enough to undergo the procedure to have that, so it's all a bit up in the air. My dad's health's not the best either. It's just difficult. It's all very difficult at the moment, and I'm kind of in the midst of that, so I don't get as much chance to do videos, edit videos, watch your guys' videos. I try my best. When I have a little bit of downtime gaming, I tend to listen to as much YouTube as I can, but yeah, apologies if I'm not getting to as many of your videos as I normally did. Again, replying to comments, apologies, I will always get there. It just takes me having a couple of free hours to go through, and at the moment it's really difficult to get a couple of free hours. So yeah, this is what's been going on. So just wanted to update you guys. Also, can I add, if you're on my Facebook, I will actually share this on my community tab on YouTube also. I wanted to talk about Shawn from Lost in the Rail. Now, I'm sure most of you know Shawn or are aware of Shawn. If you don't, he's one of life's most gorgeous, lovely people. I can't even tell you. I've known Shawn for a few years now. He's part of the cinema squad. I love him dearly. He's just a lovely individual, and he has lately been going through an absolutely, I can't even begin to tell you. He's been hospitalised. He's almost passed away. His organs all started to shut down. He's had to learn to walk again. He's in a really bad way. He's in the US. We all know about medical expenses and all that stuff. So one of his friends has actually started a GoFundMe for Shawn, which I have shared on my Facebook. I will share on here. I have donated. Another couple of YouTubers I know have also. Now obviously a lot of us can't afford to donate very much, but anything is something. And I think it's important Shawn know that we're all behind him, we're all in his corner, we're all rooting for him. We all want him back. So I will share that on my community tab also. If you have anything spare, it would be massively appreciated for him, because he's just, if it was anyone else, he'd be there. He's just one of life's beautiful people. So yeah, I feel like I'm doing advertising. So I just thought I'd catch you up, guys, with what's going on. So thank you so much for watching. I know this is probably much longer than it needs to be. So it's probably just as well. You only get one of these once a month or so. Thanks so much for sticking by me, for watching, for being supportive. And I look forward to speaking to you all next time. Over and out from Lisa Loves.